Luis Walter Alvarez, left, and his child Walter, right, are known for their hypothesis that a space rock slammed into our planet a long time back and influenced all non-bird dinosaurs and numerous different creatures to kick the bucket out. Asteroids are enormous, rough bodies that circle the Sun. They range from a couple to many meters in measurement. Any part of a space rock that endures arriving on Earth becomes known as a shooting star. The Alvarez speculation was at first questionable, yet it is currently the most broadly acknowledged hypothesis for the mass termination toward the conclusion of the Mesozoic age. According to Paul, a space rock influence is upheld by great proof since we've distinguished the cavity. It's currently to a great extent covered on the ocean bottom off the bank of Mexico. It is the very same age as the termination of the non-bird dinosaurs, which can be followed in the stone record from one side of the planet to the other. The effect site, known as the Chicxulub cavity, is focused on the Yucatan promontory in Mexico. The space rock is remembered to have been somewhere in the range of 10 and 15 kilometers wide, however the speed of its impact caused the making of a lot bigger pit, 150 kilometers in width, the second biggest hole on the planet. The dinosaur-killing accident tossed tremendous measures of flotsam and jetsam out of sight and made huge tsunamis wash over pieces of the American mainlands. There is additionally proof of significant flames starting there ever. For quite a while it was felt that the non-bird dinosaurs ceased to exist a long time back. Yet, Paul makes sense of, the dating of those layers of dirt all over the planet is extremely precise, it's assessed to inside several millennia. Late redating has refined it, and the date of the dinosaur elimination is 66.0 long time back. What caused worldwide mass eliminations? Around 75% of Earth's creatures, including dinosaurs, abruptly ceased to exist at a similar moment. So how could it be totally brought about by a stone tearing into the bank of Focal America? Paul makes sense of, the space rock hit at high speed and really disintegrated. It made a gigantic pit, so in the quick region there was all-out obliteration. An enormous impact wave and heat wave went out and it hurled tremendous measures of material into the climate. It sent ash voyaging from one side of the planet to the other. It didn't totally shut out the sun, yet it decreased how much light that arrived at the world's surface. So it affected plant growth. Like dominoes, this followed up the pecking order, making the biological system break down. The decrease in vegetation colossally affected herbivores' capacity to get by, which thusly implied that carnivores would likewise have experienced having less food accessible. Rearing seasons would have been more limited, and conditions crueler. All living things would have been impacted somehow or another, both ashore and in the sea. There is a great deal of conversation over the real kill instrument and how lengthy that period endured. There are still a ton of questions. Yet, it was a monstrous occasion influencing all life on the planet, from microorganisms the entire way through to dinosaurs, says Paul. The lost list is long. Among them, ammonites, some infinitesimal tiny fish, and enormous marine reptiles all vanished. Be that as it may, the misfortune accounted for the starting points of the advanced world. Worldwide environmental change. The fault can't exclusively lay on the space rock. Preceding its accident arrival, Earth was encountering a time of environmental change. This was making things harder for life on our planet. In what is presently Focal India, there was significant volcanic movement that, albeit irrelevant to the space rock influence, was creating issues of its own. The subsequent magma outcrop is currently known as the Deccan Traps. According to Paul, for 2 million years there was an enormous measure of volcanic movement going on, regurgitating gases into the environment, and significantly affecting worldwide environment. There were additionally longer-term changes. The mainlands were floating near and parting separated from one another, making greater seas, which changed sea and climate designs all over the planet. This likewise unequivocally affected environment and vegetation. What endured the space rock influence? During the Cretaceous eradication occasion, plants were less impacted than creatures on the grounds that their seeds and dust can endure cruel periods for longer. After the dinosaurs' termination, blooming plants ruled Earth, proceeding with a cycle that had begun in the Cretaceous, and keep on doing so today. In any case, all land creatures weighing north of 25 kilograms ceased to exist. What we're left with are essentially the seeds of what we have today. A significant number of the significant creature bunches that are alive today were set up before the space rock effect, and they generally experience some degree of eradication, yet the lines that prompted current creatures got past, says Paul. All of the non-bird dinosaurs vanished, yet dinosaurs made do as birds. A few kinds of bird went wiped out, yet the genealogies that prompted present-day birds made do. At first the survivors were little, with birds the first to encounter advancement to bigger sizes. There were 2 or 3 heredities of monstrous birds, savage and herbivorous, yet they weren't around for extremely lengthy and furthermore went extinct. Could the dinosaurs have made do? There is exploration to recommend that assuming the effect had happened somewhere else in the world, the destiny of life on Earth might have been altogether different. Assuming it had fallen only minutes after the fact, the space rock would have arrived in more profound water, making less stone disintegrate and ascend to shut out the daylight and warmth. This would have brought down the possibilities of a mass eradication. In any case, in the event that the dinosaurs' rule hadn't been unexpectedly finished by a space rock, Paul feels that we could have seen some, other than birds, around today. I suspect some of them would in any case be near. We have barely any familiarity with the last 10 million years of their rule, and what we in all actuality do know depends on just a single region on the planet, Western North America. There is a great record of those exemplary last non-bird dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops. From that region of the planet it appears as though dinosaurs are flourishing regarding numbers, however the quantity of various kinds of dinosaurs is diminished. We couldn't say whether that example held somewhere else, it's as yet a major secret. Were it not for the space rock, dinosaurs could have endured somewhat longer, despite the fact that with current birds, warm-blooded animals and reptiles beginning to create, they might not